Are you looking to maximize your revenue this season? Well, by the end of this video, I'm going to give you 5 different ways you can do so. What's going on, you guys? This is Matt Thibeau here, a Savant marketing agency. And if you're new to the channel, all we do around here is talk about how we can scale up your landscaping or your outdoor living business to 7 figures and beyond using digital marketing strategies that work. Tip number 1 is to increase your lead flow. The more opportunities you have, the more revenue you can make. If your cost per lead on Facebook ads, for example, is coming in under $50 per lead, then you should probably just scale your ad spend, which will give you more leads, which will drive more sales and revenue in your business. A lot of landscapers get scared to scale and start spending more money on marketing or ads simply because they're looking at it from an emotional perspective. But what you should be looking at it from is an ROI perspective. If you're getting leads on Facebook, for example, for under $50 and those are converting and you're making money off of those, then the most logical thing you could do is scale that ad spend, which will start to scale your revenue. Because if you put $1 into ads and you get $5 back, you should want to spend more on ads, not less. In my book, Landscaper Marketing Secrets, I talk about the importance of thinking like a business owner and not just a technician. And what a business owner thinks about is how to create a system that can consistently feed their pipeline so they can get the right people in place to do the work for them so they can focus on the vision of the company and actually running it, being a real business owner and entrepreneur and not just a landscaper. If your cost per lead is high and you're not ready to start scaling the ad spend, then some of the things that you can immediately look at are refreshing the creatives. You want to refresh the creatives on your ads every 2 to 4 weeks so that you can keep the cost per lead low. And you want to replace your old fatigued ads with these new ads so that Facebook will be able to prioritize spending on those ads. Another thing you can look at is the offer you are putting out there to attract the right type of people into the business and stand out from the crowd. Some of my favorite offers to do on Facebook ads are free same-day estimates. This is where you can show up to the job, give a quote on the spot. This is going to help you from a marketing perspective, but it's also going to help you from a sales perspective. And a lot of other landscapers are taking way too long to deliver estimates. You could also do a free design mock-up. Most landscapers don't realize how easy it is to use tools like ChatGPT to simply take a picture of a person's backyard and then do a mock-up of what it would look like to have a patio laid out. And you can attach that picture using ChatGPT right onto the estimate. This is going to help convey a lot more value in your ads and help you stand out from the crowd. And lastly, I would look at the targeting that you're doing on Facebook ads. If you're doing only broad targeting and you're focusing on a specific area with ages, 30 plus, that's one set of targeting, but maybe you should start experimenting with other forms of targeting to drive lead costs down. Something I recommend to do would be something like a lookalike audience, where basically you feed in a list of data to Meta and you go out and find more people who are similar to that audience. You could also look at something like remarketing campaigns, where you're showing ads to people who have visited your website or have interacted in the past with ads. These are people who are far more likely to convert. Once their cost per lead is down, you're going to be in a much better position to start scaling your ads. However, you can also start to diversify your lead generation by adding other media channels to your portfolio. So if you're only running Facebook ads, maybe you can start running Google ads. If you're doing Facebook and Google ads, maybe you could start doing SEO. Maybe you could start also looking at mailers, et cetera, et cetera. You want to have as many hooks out in the line as you can, so then you have multiple different streams of leads coming through so you can absolutely maximize your lead generation efforts. Tip number 2 is going to be simply booking more estimates. If you're not booking at least 50% of your leads in for an in-person estimate, then you don't have a lead generation problem. You have an appointment setting problem. By bumping up the number of appointments you are doing, you're also going to increase the number of sales that are coming through, thus increasing your overall revenue. Some of the best tips I could give you for increasing your appointment setting rate would be number 1, speed to lead. You want to call your leads as fast as possible ideally within 5 minutes or less. If when you're calling your leads and they're not really answering the phone or you're having trouble to get in contact with them, I recommend that you do something called double dialing, which is simply when you call your lead, if they don't answer, hang up and call again a second time. This is far more likely to get them to pick up the phone so you can actually book them in for the estimate. Secondly, you want to nail what I call a discovery call. A discovery call is a quick 15-minute call that you do with your leads to discover if they are qualified and they're actually the type of prospect you want to work with. But more importantly, as well, is to discover their why and to understand the emotional driver behind the project they are looking to actually get done. Then, when you conduct this discovery call, you're going to have all of the emotional drivers you need when you go in for the estimate to actually close the sale. Remember, the sale doesn't start at the kitchen table. It starts on that very first phone call. And the last thing that you want to stunt your growth is having a bad appointment setting rate. So fix your appointment setting problems today. Number 3 is to close more sales. If you're not closing at least 30% of your estimates, that means that your sales can be improved significantly, which is going to drive more revenue for the business. First things first, always present your estimates in person. I can't tell you how many landscapers insist on emailing over estimates, but they're looking at a 15 or 20% close rate. Imagine how many more sales you'd be able to get if you're able to just present in person, handle the objections right then and there on the spot, and be able to build trust with homeowners who are getting estimates from a bunch of other landscapers who aren't even willing to present the estimate in person. Answer their questions, be there for them. Just by being there in person, you're going to close a lot more sales. Second, like I said, is use a free design mockup in your sales process. Not only is this going to help you on the marketing side, but it's going to help you on the sales side. Simply just by taking a picture of someone's backyard or their yard or project and throwing it into ChatGPT and doing a couple of prompts, you can get a beautiful looking photo of what their project could look like. And you can attach that to your estimate when you sit down with them and show them everything that you have in mind for them. This is going to boost up the average order value because people are going to be able to visualize the work that can be done. And it's also going to get them emotionally invested in the project instead of just looking at numbers on a piece of paper. Thirdly, if you're not already using a good, better, and best options close in your sales process, then you are leaving a ton of money on the table. Basically, what this means is when you go in to present an estimate, you don't want to just have one option because then that means it's either a yes or a no to that estimate. However, if you come forward with 3 options, one package being a good package that has, essentially the bare bones, a better package, which is usually the one that they're going to want, which is somewhere in between, the cheaper option and the expensive option. And then finally, you can have the whole 9 yards package, which is everything they want and a little bit more. All of the bells and whistles are included. And essentially, by having 3 different options, now you're asking the question, which one do you want to do? And this is going to boost your close rate. And also, it's going to allow you to sell typically for more because every now and then someone is going to go for that best package. And this is going to come in huge help for you when you're looking to close more sales. Lastly, if you're not already offering financing, you should definitely do so. This is going to allow people to afford that $80,000 to $100,000 backyard without completely burning a hole in their wallet. So offering financing allows people to get into your projects easier and a little bit more comfortably, but also it allows them to spend more with you because they can actually afford to set up the payments and get exactly what they're looking for. Remember, a homeowner might not be able to afford $80,000 in cash, but what they might be able to afford is $700 per month. The 4th tip to boost your revenue is SMS reactivation campaigns. When a homeowner says, I need to think about it, most landscapers never follow up with that person. Or let's say that someone reaches out to you and they request an estimate, but for whatever reason, they never get to the stage of getting that estimate. This is your chance to reactivate those people and get them back on your pipeline or on your calendar, or get them to move forward in a sale. And there is so much revenue that's being left on the table simply by not reactivating old leads in your pipeline. There are three main categories when it comes to your leads. The first category are people who have requested a quote but did not get to that stage. Our goal in this category is to get them back on your calendar for an estimate. The best SMS text that you can send this person is something simply that says along the lines of, "Hey, did you still want us to help you with your landscaping project? Or did you still need help with X?" A very simple text like this is going to get them to reply back if they're interested, and you can go ahead and book that estimate and get them back on your calendar. The second segment of people are homeowners who have received an estimate from your company, but for whatever reason did not move forward due to a time delay, a money objection, or whatever reason. Your goal here is to give them an offer that is going to push them over the edge to want to move forward and pay you a deposit and start working with you. One of the easiest ways to make this happen is to offer them a 1-week flash sale. Essentially, what this would look like is you would send off a text to all the people who have received an estimate but have not moved forward. And the text would say something like, "Hey, for this week only, if you received a legitimate estimate from our company in the past year, reply back with the word sale and we'll knock off 10% on your estimate, but you have to move forward this week." Reply back with that word and we'll move from there. This text is going to convert a lot of people who simply just because it wasn't the right time, or like I said, a money objection, maybe it was just a little bit too expensive. People's situations change. And so it's important that we reach back out to those prospects and give them a new offer that they can claim. And the third and last segment of people we want to reactivate are going to be existing clients who have paid us in the past. If you have a list of current customers or customers who have paid you in the past, you are sitting on an absolute gold mine, because you can reach out to those customers and say something like, "Hey, for this week only, we're offering existing customers an incredible discount on our new service." Maybe it's landscape lighting. Maybe it's a new maintenance service that you're offering. Whatever it is, the people who have already paid you in the past are most likely to pay you again or continue to pay you because they already know, like, and trust you. Start reactivating those old leads. This is going to increase your revenue significantly this year. And the fifth and final tip that I have for you here for maximizing your revenue is to increase your average order value, the price of the job. Increasing your average order value, or AOV for short, is one of the simplest ways that you can start increasing the revenue in your business. Essentially, instead of taking on more jobs that are smaller in value, you take on a couple more jobs that are much bigger in value. A lot of landscapers think that to increase their revenue, they just need to do a lot more jobs. But sometimes all you have to take on is just a couple more jobs in a month that are at a higher average order value, and you'll be able to dramatically increase your revenue for the season. Some examples of higher ticket services would be doing larger hardscape projects, maybe incorporating pools, maybe doing an outdoor kitchen, some landscape lighting. All of these things are what commands a larger average order value. Additionally, an easy way for you to increase your average order value is to also have add-ons that you can present to the client in your estimate. Remember when we talked about good, better, best in the sales process? This is where you can get those add-ons and start really building up the average order value of those projects. Finally, maybe you want to take advantage of the fact that you just acquired a customer and give them an offer of an ongoing maintenance package. This is going to give you a lot of stability in your revenue to pay your bills and maybe pay your payroll and your team and such. And also, it's going to give you that stability when maybe you go into some of the slower seasons, so that you're getting a lot more out of the project that you already won. So guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, Give it a thumbs up, give it a subscribe. If you have any questions, you can comment below. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. And if you're watching or listening to this and you own a landscaping or outdoor living business and you're looking to scale up your business using digital marketing strategies, we would love to help you. All you got to do is click the link below, book yourself in for a free strategy session, and our team will be happy to speak with you. All right, I'll see you guys on my next video.